Okay, let's jump right into this explainer and completely demystify the CS50X 2026 starting from scratch assignment. Look, if you've been staring at a blank screen feeling like that blinking cursor is just mocking you, you are in the exact right place. Today, we're going to lay out the ultimate blueprint for this assignment so you can build your very first programming project with total confidence.
I actually absolutely love this quote straight from the course creators. All right, off you go. Make us proud. It just perfectly captures the exact energy we want you to have as you step up to this blank canvas. I mean, you've got the tools, you've watched the lectures, and now it's time to play. To get you from that terrifying blank screen to a finished masterpiece, we're taking an architect's approach. We'll quickly cover choosing your own adventure, packing your technical toolkit, designing with abstraction, and finally, taking baby steps. Let's get to it.
So, kicking things off with choosing your own adventure.
This is where your imagination totally takes the wheel. The sheer variety of past student projects you can draw inspiration from is honestly staggering. You could build an interactive story like, say, Gingerbread Tales, or a game like Soccer or Hogwarts, maybe an animation like Cookie Love Story. But really, you're highly encouraged to dream up your own unique idea. Here's a pro tip for you. Picking a passion project, something you genuinely find fun, is the absolute secret to surviving the hard parts of coding. Because when you hit a bug, and trust me you will, caring about the end result is what actually keeps you going. Now, as you're brainstorming, you want to aim for a sweet spot of complexity. Your project needs to use a few dozen puzzle pieces overall. It definitely should be more complex than those short little instructive demos you've seen in the lectures. But please don't panic. It absolutely does not need to be as complicated as legendary past projects like Oscar Time or Ivy's Hardest Game. Just find that comfortable middle ground. All right, moving on to your technical toolkit. Here is where we get into the specific, hard constraints of the assignment. First up on your toolkit checklist is the number 2. You must include at least 2 sprites in your project to meet the core requirements. Just think of these as the main actors on your digital stage. But there's a catch. At least one of those sprites must not be a cat. Sorry, Scratch Cat, you are benched for this one. This brilliantly illustrates the course's push for your personal creativity. While the Scratch Cat is an absolute icon of the programming world, you've got to step outside the default settings and bring at least one completely different character or object to life. Next up in your toolkit is the magic number 3. This represents the absolute minimum number of scripts your overall project must contain to pass. But keep in mind, that's a total count across the whole project. You don't necessarily need 3 scripts per sprite. You have total freedom to distribute these scripts however it makes sense for your specific design and the interactive story or game you're trying to build. Now rounding out the rest of your required checklist. To complete your toolkit, you just need one conditional. Think of this like a fork in the road, your if this happens, then do that logic. You also need one loop for repeating actions, like making a character pace back and forth endlessly without writing the exact same code over and over. You'll need one variable to store changing data, maybe a player score or a countdown timer. And finally, you need one custom block, created via the Make a Block feature. Now pay close attention here. That custom block absolutely must take at least one input to count. Which brings us right into designing with abstraction. Now that we've gathered all our raw materials, let's talk about architectural elegance. Abstraction is basically a fundamental computer science superpower. It's the process of giving a highly descriptive name to a sequence of blocks, like calling a sequence meow, and moving them into a custom block. Why does this matter? Well, abstraction is exactly what allows human brains to comprehend millions of lines of code without getting completely overwhelmed. It hides the messy details so you can focus on the big picture. The contrast here is key. If you find one of your scripts getting overwhelmingly long, looking like a massive, tangled plate of spaghetti, that is a giant red flag. Break it apart. Separate it into multiple, highly specific scripts, and utilize those custom blocks we just talked about to organize your workspace into tidy little stacks. Good code isn't just about making it work, it's about making it well-designed and readable. And speaking of good design, it also encompasses academic honesty. If you decide to import a cool backdrop, a fun costume, or a neat sound effect from outside the standard Scratch library, you must drop a comment in your code citing its origin. Always give credit where credit is due, right? Finally, the construction phase. Taking baby steps. The absolute secret to avoiding total frustration while building your project is this philosophy right here. Please, whatever you do, do not try to build your entire project all at once. Instead, embrace this simple, iterative cycle. Step 1, write a little bit of code by dragging and dropping a few pieces. Step 2, test your project immediately to see if it works. Step 3, write a bit more code and repeat the cycle. Actually, this isn't just a tip for beginners. This is quite literally how professional developers build real-world software. And as you work through these baby steps, form a new habit right now. Go to File and click Save Now every few minutes. Seriously, there is absolutely nothing more heartbreaking, no true modern horror quite like a sudden computer glitch or power flicker wiping out an hour of your hard work. Protect your progress. Listen, if you hit a wall trying to implement a specific feature, don't let it freeze you. Don't fret. Simply pivot. Alter your design or find a creative workaround. Having fun with an idea you genuinely enjoy is, for sure, the best way to naturally hit all these requirements without stressing yourself out. So, we've reached the end of our blueprint. You have the tools, the technical requirements, the design principles of abstraction, and the baby steps process laid out clearly before you. The only question left is, what amazing Scratch adventure will you choose to build? Remember, every massive piece of software shaping our world today, from the apps on your phone to cutting-edge artificial intelligence, started with the exact same fundamental building blocks you are about to use. So dive in, embrace those baby steps, and I honestly can't wait for you to experience the magic of making your very first project come alive.